this is Brian.
Hello, this is POOF.
Wow, right on the second of the stroke of 3:30.
Well, I do my best.
How you doing?
Oh, live and kicking, man.
Oh, very good, man. Very good. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to you, man. I didn't have any idea that you did any type of consultation until I read a post from Susie Starr about your most recent posts. And I know that there's been people trying to get interviews with you for a while, and you've kind of turned them all down. So I'm curious as to how these calls go, man. I'm throwing my money out there because I just want to talk to you, really.
It's basically based on most why I've done the newsletters in the first place, because I was asked to.
Yeah.
It had to do with holding up the torch until they got the job done.
Sure.
And the job is the transfer of the wealth of the world into little people's hands.
Sure.
These guys have had long enough to run their little roost, and they're being foreclosed on. That's what's behind all this. They borrowed and never paid it back.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And this goes back for a couple hundred years.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been following, I think what originally struck me onto this work was David Wilcock's Financial Tyranny piece.
Yeah.
That he did, I'm sure you're familiar with, but I know that was close to the beginning of this year. I think I found your links to your posts very shortly thereafter. I have a whole list of questions that I have for you, some of which you probably won't be able to answer, others you might be able to.
Just go ahead.
Okay, Poof, what can you tell me about, I know that you're pretty incognito right now, but what can you tell me about who you are and why should people trust you?
Well, I'll put it like this. They came a long time ago to me. I was sitting in Memphis, Tennessee, minding my own business, and something I learned since is people are watching you that you don't even know are watching you. Mm-hmm. And apparently that's what was going on, because they come and ask me if I would help do what they were doing, and what that was transferring the wealth of the world. I said, well, that sounds really good. I said, how are you going to do that? And they explained how they had set up to do it, and all that, and we will make sure that you're up to speed as the time goes by. So all those things they have done, so they've proven themselves to me. Because I had never stuck my head out here to talk about none of this kind of crap, even though I know what's going on. Why did they? They're crazy anyhow.
Why did they go to you? What was the nature?
They found that they could trust me.
Got it.
They watched me, and they found out they could trust me.
Okay.
And I had a friend of mine that he got a hold of me too from my newsletters, and he's a Templar. And he told me that when he left the Pentagon, he was walking down the street, and somebody came and walked up beside him. He says, an older gent came up and he started telling me about myself. He's like, you raise your eyebrows, and what do you know? Who are you? And that's when he got asked to be a Templar, because they were watching him, and he was trustworthy.
Sure.
And that's what they look for in people. Are you committed to what you say? Will you stand behind your words? No, you give me a reason to stand behind the words, I'll do it, not a problem.
What is a Templar exactly? I've heard the word thrown around, but can you explain that a little bit more?
It's a group of people who basically figured out something. They were in the Crusades, and they got underneath the temple in Jerusalem. Okay. And they found something, whatever it was, but they became the bankers of Europe. And the church got really ticked off because the Templars wouldn't do it. So finally, when King Charles was King of France, the Pope at that time said, you need to get rid of them. And so he did. He turned on them, and that's where you got Friday the 13th. It came from there. Because on that Friday the 13th, they went and turned on the Templars, man, and were trying to kill them all, and a bunch of them got away, but they had money stashed all over the planet.
Yeah.
And what they were doing was lending to the little paupers, people that needed something to get by with and to buy more seeds or whatever. And that's what they were doing. And they dropped a lot of money, gold, if you will, around the planet in different places. And, stash it for the future, whatever was needed.
Sure.
And their money has now just been, it's been monetized, and they're ready to go themselves.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it all has to do with taking care of the planet. That's what everybody's job is.
Yeah.
Take care of the planet.
I got
So
some.
you got to hose out the atmosphere. It's all polluted,
Sure.
and they've got the equipment to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely.
The Dragons, they went forward. They actually have been in much closer proximity to the U.S. military than most people understand.
Mm-hmm.
And but this craft, for example, which I've seen, it was photographed over top of Paris. Looks like a UFO, but that's a craft they had built out there at Edwards Air Force Base to clean the atmosphere with. They've got a couple of them.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I got some questions about a few of those things you just brought up, but I mean, I've been reading your posts for a while, and I've always got the feeling like you've got some really good sources of information. I think there's a lot of other people out there that feel the exact same way. So, aside from a lot of this stuff that that I follow, because I follow a lot, but I follow a lot less now than I did maybe 6 months ago, because I've found like there's some that I feel like I can trust a lot more than others. But how do you know personally that your sources? I mean, how do you know that you can trust them completely with the information they're feeding to you?
One of the things is there's a consistency.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pathway that I got way back when I lived in Memphis. There's a path. And you got to stay on that path, and if anybody is talking off of that path, they're off in the weeds somewhere. And so as long as somebody's consistent in their information, then I know they're on track, and they're with the people doing it.
Sure.
And it takes ears to hear that. You got to know.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as the bad guys winning this game. Forget it.
Yeah.
Not going to win, and there's all kinds of reasons why not.
Mm-hmm.
If you pre-own, or if you're the loner of all this stuff that these guys have been doing, and all this kind of, I mean, pick out anybody, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, name them. It doesn't matter. They borrowed from those damn dragons over there in China, and they're making them pay up now.
Mm-hmm. So with that being said, and that being the case, and based on the tone of some of your most recent messages and a lot of other stuff that's the information that's flying around out there with in regards to the frustration that things haven't happened yet, I mean, what's the holdup at this point?
They had to get the bad guys out of the way, and that has not been easy because they've been in power for so long.
Okay.
So they're subject to, if they feel like something's getting ready to happen, they'll go and throw a hand grenade off someplace and mess something up. And it takes them a week to fix it.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like...
It's a drag in time.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like what went down with Benghazi and the whole James Holmes incident, which I saw that your PayPal, he says the payment is going to. I found that pretty interesting.
I know. A guy called me one day. He says, "Man, I bet you wish you changed your name." I said, "You better change your name now." I said, "I'm not worried. That's immaterial. It has nothing to do with me."
Sure.
They can't attach me to that.
Yeah. Okay. So the process is unfolding. I mean, are your contacts, are they approving of your post before they go out, or do they trust that you're going to release the right information?
Some of them got a hold of me because I did the post. Just because they knew what I was talking about. And so they like the Dragons, they reached out to me and said, "Hey, yo," and introduced themselves to me and this guy. We Skyped for a minute, and he later.
So they're benefiting.
Date on the adverb and pronoun.
So their benefit in using you as a resource is that they knew that you had a following of people that are reading your messages, and you could be.
Because I know how to keep peace.
Yeah.
In my earlier, when I was writing earlier, I said I have created this website to to slice and dice the rumors, and we will flail them, we will beat them, be spat upon right here. I used to have a website called Easy Board. That's where I started.
Okay. So, in your opinion, I mean, I guess the question of the hour across the entire community of followers of this information is, I mean, in your opinion, I'm assuming you're probably sitting on some information that you're not sharing, which is totally understandable. But because to me it seems like there's a big silence thing going on the internet right now, with not a whole lot of information being reported as to events unfolding that is really kind of advancing the ball, if you will. I mean, how close are we?
Because they shut them up at the end of last week. They told them all to shut up. The guys that know what's going on,
Yeah.
that know whatever.
Yeah.
Shut up. Don't say another word. And they have done that. They shut up. And I'm telling you, none of those people will talk to me at this particular point.
Gotcha.
That's okay.
Got it.
Because, I still know a dragon.
Okay.
I still know a dragon. And that cuts through, If you're below that, then you have rumors.
Yeah.
You understand things.
Okay.
But when you're a dragon, you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I said to him, and how I get answers out of him sometimes is by saying something obvious that I know he was involved in. It's like when they were transferring those trillions of dollars over here last week. I said to the dragon, are you done with JP now? And the answer was, pretty much.
Oh, God, I love it. I love it. So, do you think there's going to be an election? Are we going to get to that point where, we're going to the voting polls, or is something big, do you think, is going to happen before then?
Well, it could happen. I don't know at this particular point, because they're being very quiet on the moment.
Yeah.
If they go ahead and get this out right now, which I expect them to, because they got everything done, then sometime after, about a week or so after the people have access to their, what they call fines and penalties money, then Mr. Obama will come out and talk, and he'll explain how this country has gone back to the constitutional treasury. There's no more Federal Reserve, and these little IMF or little what do you call them, Interpol.
Yeah.
They'll be doing their rest. And the reason why Obama did that what do you call them, executive order, it was because people are going to be seeing the 82nd and 101st running around.
Yeah.
And you got to explain to the people why that is. Their job is to keep the peace.
Okay.
Because once people hear the announcements,
Yeah.
some of them are going to snap.
Who's going to be the main voice in all of those announcements? I mean, is it going to come from the president, or is some?
Yeah. At this particular point, I have no different information, because my friend gave his rep when he was over there where he gave him the schematics on the announcements. The Chinese insisted on announcements they have done because the American people got to know, so they never this crap again.
Yeah. Got it.
Your country was taken from you.
Yeah.
And here's the act that did it, 1871.
Okay.
You became under the U.S. corporation, and here's the Constitution. Here's the two different constitutions, and you need to look at the difference. This was done in 1871. This is the original back in 1776.
Mm-hmm.
You see the difference in the spelling. You see the difference in the wording.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's how you became a straw man.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I was talking about this with American Kabuki the other day. I don't know if you know of his blog at all or not.
I've used his links in my newsletter.
Yeah, he said that. He wanted me to find out from you before the end of the call if you'd be willing to do an interview via email with him. But I was talking to him about how, I mean, there's so few of us, and probably more so now, but there's so few of us that actually know about what's going on, that are awake to all of this information, that, I mean, it's going to be a blindside uppercut punch to so many people out there. I mean, is that why does that explain why the whole, what's up with all this military activity going on all across the United States? I saw a YouTube video with like hundreds of tanks going from Burbank to Southern California, and people reporting that there's all sorts of military activity happening all over. I mean, is this the good guys that are preparing for the...
Yes, they're getting ready.
They're getting ready.
The military knows exactly what's going on.
Okay, so they're
the trustee has already called the Pentagon and told them to be ready.
Got it. So these are all part of the...
Interpol too and told them to be ready.
Got it. Wow. So these are all the good guys then that are all...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. How long, once this is announced, I mean, what's the process, how do you get money out to the whole world? I mean, if everybody doesn't have a bank account, I mean, what's this distribution process going to be like? I mean, can you speak to that a little bit?
The distribution process is in your hands, and you have to do whatever you do, and contribute wherever you want to contribute, create whatever you want to create. They're not trying to do this for you.
Yeah.
But they're providing you a safe mechanism in order to do it.
Okay.
They have control of the entire new banking system, and it is a new banking system.
Okay.
And they already own the Fed. And they're promoting the U.S. Treasury. I mean, they went in there and scared the hell out of George Bush when he was president and told him, we take the Fed right now. You have no piggy bank left.
So.
And she relented, and she said, you will get the U.S. Treasury, the Constitutional Treasury, back up online now.
Okay.
And he went and called them guys out of Baltimore. They've been up there meeting ever since 1933, keeping the U.S. Treasury alive.
Sure. Wow.
And they moved down from there, and they first started holding their minutes under the Supreme Court. Then they began an integration process with the President's Treasury.
Okay. Got it.
They brought in Geithner because Geithner knows the secrets. He knows all the bodies are buried.
So
they buried him up there on Wall Street, so he could keep an eye on everything and know everything.
So
his information was very vital at the time when it was needed.
So Geithner's one of the good guys?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Wow, there's a lot of people out there that think otherwise. Interesting.
Of course.
Just like Obama, I guess.
Yeah, well, they don't like Obama. They've had a problem with Obama being in the White House since he got there.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Which a black man don't run in the White House. Right.
I had to sit in the back of a cab with a guy preaching that story just no more than an hour ago. So when you talk about prosperity, if it's not a function of everybody just going to get money deposited in, I mean, I read a lot of information, and it sounds like what a lot of people are expecting is that all of a sudden they're going to wake up to find a couple $100,000 in their bank accounts.
It ain't like that. These guys have been running that story for I don't know how long.
Nasara and Saint Germain Fund and all these other whatever you want to call it depending on the day.
Here's how it's going to be. If you got into one of those programs, whatever one it was, that is legit, then you're going to get something. You're going to get a knock on your door telling you to go to the bank.
Well, what do you mean if you're in one of those programs? I mean, who decides that?
There's 70 such programs, 70 plus programs that have been real and legit through the years that have been frozen for one reason or another by the preceding administrations. And all of that stuff is being freed now to be paid out to the people.
Okay, got it. Where's that money coming from?
That money is piled up and has been shoved in here. Like last week, they moved $350 trillion into this country from China.
Yeah. In gold?
In money.
In cash.
It's all backed by metal. That's the whole gig behind it. It'll all be worth something.
Okay, so
it won't be Federal Reserve plastic money or air money.
It won't say Federal Reserve note at the top of it.
It will not say Federal Reserve note at the top of it. No.
Okay.
It'll say Treasury.
Got it. Okay. So who at the end of the day, who's quarterbacking the process of bringing peace to the world and making sure and ending world hunger and this huge transition that everybody can sense is coming? I mean, who's quarterbacking this whole thing?
The Dragons.
The Dragons. Okay. Got it.
They've been behind it for all these years. They're the ones that were holding all the money of the gold on the plant in the first place, so they had the wherewithal to do this.
Okay. So if they're quarterbacking, who's all the receivers that are in charge of like the making sure the transition flows smoothly and the world doesn't break out in utter chaos?
How should I say this? They're the people that are working for them, or
okay.
working with them.
There are
many.
And is that part of the 180 now Nation Alliance or whatever it might be?
No, it's 195 countries, and they all want their money.
Yeah, got it.
They all want their money, and that's what the pressure is on right now, because everybody's tired of this.
Got it. So.
And those countries, they've been enslaved to the Federal Reserve Bank themselves.
Yeah.
The Federal Reserve controlled the world. People down in the United States don't know that. They think it's just a U.S. thing. No, it isn't. They control the entire banking system on the planet. That's why it took the Dragons to destroy it.
Yeah, all the world banks and all that stuff, the IMF and the world banking system and what have you.
That's all under Dragon control now.
Wow. Okay. So once the ball drops at the 11th hour, if you will, I mean, what's the order of operations that are going to take place? And how long of a I mean, this is obviously going to be a transition that lasts for years, but as far...
a good chunk of it has already taken place. It's not as long as one might think, because so much of the early stuff has already been done. And there were paperwork that had to be processed through the World Court and all that neat stuff. That's done. What's his name? Judge Roberts. While he was appointed by George Bush Jr., he was up there when the time came and he started doing the paperwork on the U.S. corporation.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know that, of course, but he did. And he was working with the World Court on that because that's where they filed to be in existence in the first place.
Yeah. Okay.
So you got to pull the plugs out of it.
Okay.
Slowly but surely, that's what they've been doing. If you ain't going to plug here, you ain't going to plug here, you ain't going to drill nothing no more. I mean, they only have one set of plates left for making money.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, well, there's that...
This is what they don't know about Obama. When Obama left here, remember he flew over to China out of Alaska?
Yes.
Okay, when he left here with 24 transport planes. And those planes flew over there. One plane had on it the riches and the archives. There was old Buddha statues all in gold and this, that, other thing, porcelain and things like that these clowns had stolen, had kept, let's put it that way, kept since the 30s over here.
Mm-hmm.
And when that crap blew up down there in Killeen, Texas at the military base, that was really a cover for the taking of the stuff that the old man Bush was hiding down there at that base. He had it underground, and they went in and got it.
Obama in his camp.
Yes, went in and got it and gave that stuff back to the Chinese.
Oh, okay.
And now they love some Obama.
Building bridges to China, if you will. Okay.
What's that?
I said like building bridges back with China, keeping the peace and keeping on the same side with China with how.
Yes.
You got it. Okay. Wow. Holy crap. That's crazy. All right. So, what's general question? So, what's this going to mean for just the everyday American? I mean, they're going to wake up to a new world. What's going to? I mean, how?
I probably can't say any better than Obama said it himself. He says people in America will know freedom like they have never known it before.
Got it. Yeah.
You could put this country back under the Constitution like it's supposed to be, and it's now fully. And these people know that everybody has their own vine and fig tree, and they ain't got to worry.
Okay, so is
somebody coming up with some rule to take you to court with.
Okay, so what's that mean by way of debt forgiveness? I mean, people that are paying mortgages and rents and credit card payments and all that stuff.
First of all, the prices are all in Federal Reserve notes. Okay, It's based on the Federal Reserve cost. Okay, their figures. Now, if you get rid of the Federal Reserve and you go back over the Treasury, which is metal-backed money, you get a reassessment of debt. So many people will find that they've already paid it enough that they already own their own.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
They've already paid enough.
When you take away the usury, what do you got left, basically?
There you go. You're getting back down to the real stuff then.
What about people that are paying rent? If it's based on,
they got new jobs coming at them. They got ways to improve themselves.
Okay.
Plus, a lot of these people that are in these programs are going to be doing stuff that will help out their community. So people will have jobs.
Yeah. Okay.
And there'll be new corporations growing from which is called the green end, because these guys are really pushing that. They want clean water, they want clean air, and they want people to live like they're supposed to live.
Sure. Okay.
Well, anybody tell them what to do every 5 seconds. Oh, you dare not do that. Somebody's been knocking at your door. 1984 style.
Yeah. So here's the magic question: When I can't. Well, I don't want to say I can't stand my job, but I don't enjoy my job. I don't see it as. I work for the largest security company in the world. Basically, I'm actually on a business trip right now. I don't want to work here anymore. But I don't want to get stuck in a financial frenzy by quitting, by jumping the gun, if you will, on taking off on my job. I mean,
I always tell people don't fire till you see the whites of their eyes.
Yeah, that's kind of been the plan. I'm just hoping that day is better sooner than later.
I just know that there was $350 trillion running here last week to pay all this stuff off.
Okay.
To do all these programs, to the F&P money has been sitting up in Canada for 3 years now. So
what out of all the above, NESARA, the Dragon Family Trust Fund, Saint Germain Trust, the Leo Wanta funds, I mean, which ones of these are legit and what's a farce? Leo Wanta, yeah.
And of course, Saint Germain, it's got something like 34 trusts run down from the main trust. It works like a chocolate fountain.
Okay.
If something drains, it's filled back up again.
Sure.
They're constantly trading, and now that they have Hong Kong to use, they're using Hong Kong. They're trading their buys off, keeping the coffers full.
Got it.
And like I said, there's 70-something programs actually that are being paid out of those main trusts.
How about NESARA? What's the legitimacy with that?
Well, you see, they got a lot of phraseology. I know the original guy that came up with that concept in NESARA. I went to his website way back when. Then I got co-opted by the NESARA people.
Okay.
And they say all kinds of things over there. But what they were really talking about is something Brussels was already working on way back when.
Okay.
I don't spend much fun time with those people. I don't pay any attention to them. Because, basically, why do I want to go around the corner and read about it when I can talk to people that are doing it?
That are in it, yeah. Okay.
There are certain people out there that just told me don't talk to them.
Okay.
Because they're big blabbermouths.
All right, so what's your? I could probably guess who some of those people are. What's your take on Ben Fulford and Cobra and Drake?
Well, Ben Fulford is touch and go, and Drake and Heenan have gotten themselves.
Keenan?
Well, I knew knew about the black dragon being taken out a couple of years ago. Okay, and it happened at the same time that that nuclear stuff happened over Japan. And he was supposed to drop his money into the pile, but he thought he was running the whole show, so he wouldn't do it. So the elders fixed him, and he basically got let this bucket now. You don't mess with these people. You don't try to assume something on them and think that you're going to get above them somehow way, because they'll just hurt your feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so they go and they say what they want about. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Oh, he's got a part of the picture, but I got the whole picture. Thank you very much.
Well, Drake's known for.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, he bashes Obama daily. I'm on his email. I find his stuff somewhat entertaining, but he's kind of all over the place emotionally, and I mean, he bashes Obama like Obama's the devil. So that's always thrown me off about Drake.
The devil in the White House and didn't recognize him.
And he was wearing a devil's costume to top it all off. They still didn't recognize him. All right, what about Cobra? What's your take on Cobra? I mean, Cobra's gaining a lot of popularity. I mean, he takes a much different. He covers the whole scene from a different angle, obviously, with the involvements of the Galactic and the Galactics and the Archons and what's going on an energetic level and all that stuff.
With those people, I never went into that department because of what I had to do. Mm. Some of what I've read about him and what he said is accurate. And when you start talking about the folks out there in the ships, don't be going on emotion. Either get it straight or leave it the hell alone. Yeah. Because they make up a lot of stuff that's in their heads. They imagine things, and don't do that. Sure.
Sure. Well, what about the event? I mean, is the event that Cobra has been speaking of for months now? I mean, is that play into the? Gosh, I don't even know what you want to call it when everything starts happening with the prosperity funds. I mean, do these things correlate? Is there a correlation there, or are they two separate deals? If you even know anything about that.
No, that's basically the marker point. Because basically what you're doing is you're changing out, consciously you're telling the world we've changed the banking system. And that's pretty much the entry of a new world. Because all this stuff's been sitting in the hoppers, back in the warehouses, whatever, are going to come off the shelf and they're going to start getting used.
Got it. Now is there going to be, is the dollar going to collapse before this is announced, or
it's not like that. It's not like that. They're going to swap it out one for one in the banks. They don't want a 1929 scenario over here. It's not necessary anyhow.
Yeah.
Just change the currency, just like you did over in Europe. You went from all the multiple currencies to the euro. Okay, everybody got their stuff swapped out. You do that right here.
Okay.
They'll swap it out in the banks when it's time.
Okay.
So, the treasury will tell them to get the new currency out or make an announcement. It goes into their vault and peel that shrink wrap off theirs. People see that stuff sitting in their vaults and some of them say, what is that? It's none of your business. Don't worry about it. That's what the fellas get told.
All right. So for people that are sitting on savings right now, do you keep it in the bank or do you keep it in cash in your bedside drawer?
Yes, no, that's the best thing to do. Just leave it in the bank. They'll swap it out one for one inside the bank. No need to worry about it.
Okay.
They don't want that situation that people imagine in their heads to happen, and that's why they've done it this way.
Yeah. Okay. And how does this? What's the effect on? I mean, this is a worldwide thing. So on a global scale, I mean, what are we looking at here as far as?
Look at Asia. Look at Asia announcing a new currency.
Yeah.
It'll work very much like the euro does in Europe. It'll work that way in Asia. So different countries will be moving over to this new currency, and it's metal back.
Okay. Okay. All right.
No need for anybody to panic.
Yeah, no, I've never fallen into the whole, let's, pack a bunch of food and move to the desert and grab our guns. I don't buy into all that fear.
Blade between my teeth and stuff. Look like Daniel Boone. Bard, Mom.
So okay, all right. So what? So all these jackasses that are still claiming to be in power. I mean, we're talking now the Rothschilds, the Morgans, the Illuminati, the Freemasons. I mean, are these guys just being taken out left and right behind the scenes right now? Are they walking away?
Rothschild, there has been a problem with what's his name, Nathaniel. Nathaniel was a problem, but I can tell you the other members of the family are right with it. They paid their debt back to the Dragons. They got a word one day, and I had a friend of mine that was on that boat when that call was made. Thank goodness. She just gave it to me straight. Because the call was made to the Rothschild. Either, how'd they put it, either divest of the Fed or we'll take you down with it.
And so the greater majority of all these guys, the power elite, the power that were, if you will, they're stepping down and going with the program?
Well, they're going where the money goes. Let's put it that way. It's not the president. They're going where the money goes.
Yeah, but
the ones that know.
Yeah.
The ones that know. I don't mean like the Koch brothers, because the Koch brothers are stupid as far as I'm concerned. If you know, see, because the Rothschilds borrowed from them many years ago. They got their start. So when they got their phone call, they knew exactly what time it was.
Got it.
Oh, they're making a move.
Okay. So are these guys going to be able to trade in? Are these guys still going to stay incredibly, ridiculously wealthy? Or?
Well, it depends on where they put their money.
Okay.
Where they put their money, and you better cooperate. You better cooperate, because you ain't going to like the results if you don't.
Got it. And who's behind those threats of the alternative? Would that be Interpol?
They'll do the arrest.
Okay.
And they'll be told, and, China got a hold of them, too.
Yeah, that's easy to believe. What about The Hague? What's the Hague's involvement in all of this?
The Hague is doing all the rulings. They're taking care of all the filings for this transition.
They have probably for a while now, yeah?
Yes, they have.
Okay.
The Hague is very involved.
All right, so when do we take control back of the media? I mean, why is the media still so completely fucked up backwards with everything they're reporting?
They haven't been told yet.
Okay. So, but
it comes down to what you know and who's telling you.
Yeah, but they.
There's stuff tumbles down when people need to know it. They don't tell them anything until they need to know it.
Got it. Need to know basis, if you will.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
If there is it sounds to me like there's absolutely no chance, snowflake's chance in hell, as they say, that Mitt Romney will be elected president, right?
Well, as things sit right now, no. If they just go ahead and get these announcements away, that's going to ruin his forward motion.
Okay.
It's just that timing issue.
Yeah.
Because Obama said it himself, they don't get these programs done, my presidency's shot. Because he was asked directly about these global settlements getting done. He's leaning back in a chair and his eyes rolled back in his head and said, man, they don't get this stuff done now. He says, my presidency is shot.
Okay, so if that doesn't happen by the time the election takes place, and by some crazy chance Mitt Romney wins the vote, what does that do to this whole master global plan? I mean, where does that put it? Where does that put us?
There are certain things that have taken place that doesn't matter who wins. That's what it is right now, because I've asked this question several times. Heard the answer again this morning. And it's the same answer. It doesn't matter about the politics, because they have done this. They've got this stuff done with even though George Bush says that the World Court can't do nothing with this country. Are you kidding me? If you go down to Washington, D.C. in the archives, you will find all kinds of things that have been done, and those papers were filed with the World Court. Now, if the World Court wasn't anything, why would you be sending papers over there so you can continue to exist?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They've had to sit down with the CIA, gave them an offer they couldn't refuse. And so the CIA went right with them. They told them, keep all that money that you got printed. But they got their own plate.
Gotcha. Okay.
But we're going to tell you, you better diversify quickly, because when we get this done, that money is going to be worthless.
What's the strategy as far as all these announcements are made? Okay, and from a strategic point from how this country is governed moving forward.
Go back to common law.
Okay.
You go back to common law. That's going to be a part of the announcement. And if you're a bar attorney, you will not be able to practice in court over here.
Okay.
No bar attorneys will be in the government either. You cannot swear to the British Crown and think you can operate in this country. Not going to happen.
Okay.
That's another part of the announcements.
Got it. Okay. So these announcements, these things are written and just waiting to be read, it sounds like.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Wow, you're answering so many more questions than I thought that you would. I like your style.
I've been at this for over 20 years.
Over 20 years.
And I got the bottom stuff. I know who did what, when, and how.
Yeah.
I don't say half of what I know in my newsletters. People like to go, you don't know about this, you don't know that. You'll be surprised what I know.
No,
How about all the underground bases around the country?
Yeah.
One sitting right underneath the Camp David. It's down there about a mile.
Holy shit.
And it's in hard granite. I know somebody that used to work in it.
You're kidding me.
He had to dump all his sins on me one day down in Alabama. He was working as a dishwasher in a Denny's down there. He said, I got to talk to you, man. I got to tell you some stuff. And I come over to the restaurant. I said, okay, well, you got to tell me, man. And he started laying it on me. My head hurts.
Oh, my God. I bet. There's so much information out there. It's really hard to pick through and figure out who can be trusted and who can't be.
Good soup that has bones in it.
But yeah, you're gonna wind up, no matter which way you slice it, you're gonna wind up chomping on one day or another. If you're trying to wade through all of it. I was listening. Yeah.
This is what they schooled me to do before I ever started doing this. Be able to decipher when somebody's saying something, pretty much where that information is coming from. And, it's like Casper's gotten really kicked off me through the years, because I just busted his bubble. You're full of crap, dude.
Casper? Yeah, I don't.
Besides, I know where you're getting your information from.
Yeah, I don't follow his stuff. I know people have pointed at some of his things, but I don't really. I don't really follow much of his.
He's a dry drunk.
He just seems angry.
Because he's living in his sister's place in Pasadena, Texas.
Oh, you're serious? He really is a.
No, I'm serious. Yeah. Somebody sent me an email one day and said, "It's time for you to know this. Where Casper comes from."
Oh, wow.
And then I got my main contact here in the United States. He started talking about Casper's emails and where he was getting his information. He said, "This is Cheney." Get this from Cheney.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me.
Cheney's in trouble. He's like the movie I've seen one time with Steven Seagal in it, where he was warring with the Jamaican guy, and the Jamaican guy said, "Him dead and not even know it yet."
So who can you trust out there in the blogosphere right now? I mean, I follow your stuff. I'm on blogs that point to a lot of other sites like American Kabuki, Kuila Pele, and some of those others. But where are the trusted sources of information other than yourself that I can read and go, okay, this is
for untainted information, I go to what's it called, EU 2020, which is a think tank in Europe.
Okay.
And sometimes I tune in, and I always watch Bloomberg in the middle of the night, because I'll catch stuff over there happening in Asia before it ever gets here. And sometimes I read the what's it called, the South China Post, or the South China Sea Post, or something like that. It's a Chinese newspaper, but it's in English.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to the province sometimes and get another perspective. Because these guys are all linked together.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of who is allowed to say what
Sure.
at a given time.
Yeah.
But you can look through all that stuff, and you'll get more of an appreciation on the world.
Well,
this is about the world. It's not just about the United States.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a global thing. I mean, it seems to me that there's a whole shitload of work that needs to be done if we're going to get to a point where there's no more war, no more world hunger. Everybody's got jobs and people are living peacefully and love thy neighbor as thyself type of a mentality. I mean,
yes.
Is that where it's headed?
That's where it's headed.
Yeah. Okay. When are we going to get there?
Yesterday.
Stephen Cook told me to ask you, are you getting fed up yet? That was his one question he wanted me to ask.
I've been fed up.
I listened to a radio interview on Alex Jones. It was Alex Jones on the radio, and a military guy from St. Louis called in, and he was all freaked out, and his captain or sergeant or whatever of the police force, I think he's a cop, he said that something big is going to happen in October. Be ready. When we call go, you be ready to go. And this guy was freaked out. I don't think he really understood what that meant. I think he was looking at it like they were sending military out to turn on the civilians population. There's a lot of misinformation talking about.
Yes, there's a lot of these people get their hair on fire because they hear one thing.
Yeah.
And they don't see the connecting tissue.
Sure.
And that's why there's no reason for anybody to have that. I mean, they told me all this crap 30 years ago. I was minding my business in what is it? It was the late 80s. And I was minding my business, and they just dropped that. We're going to shift the world. Well, good.
Like it's about damn time.
And it's just like, what is taking you so long?
Yeah.
Because I had other methods, and I have given them two.
Yeah.
So what?
So
nobody asked me my opinion.
So, I mean, obviously you fall into the category like many of us that are starting to maybe get a little bit impatient with the turnaround time of when this all starts to go down. What gives you faith that it's going to happen soon and not? I mean, you said in your most recent post, everybody wants to know when and how much, and I think your response was now and more than you can imagine.
That's right.
So I know your post pretty well.
Time is now.
Time is now. So what gives you hope that that's actually the case?
$350 trillion to the U.S. from China on maybe. They knew something that they were sure of in order to move that money. Because otherwise it would just go into the hands of the Bush people and all them. The cabal that wants to get the Fourth Reich going.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the old man is about. He's freaking out. He doesn't understand why he's not running it right now.
Who are you talking about, old man? Bush?
Old man Bush, yeah.
Old man Bush Sr. So does old man Bush and the rest of his minions, do they really think that they have a fighting chance at this point, or do they know that the gig is up?
They are scared shitless. I can't make it any clearer than that. They are scared shitless. Because when this clicks, when some somebody up there says, do it, their time of being free is over. They will collect them. They will put them in undisclosed locations. You don't have to worry about them anymore.
Okay.
The world needs to move on. Say goodbye to that group.
Okay, but they haven't surrendered officially yet, which is part of the reason why the things haven't yet happened. Would you agree with that?
They haven't surrendered, and we don't expect them to surrender. Mm-hmm. They're just like cockroaches. As long as they're breathing, they're going to keep being cockroaches.
Okay, so who would you classify as being the highest up in the resistance of the higher ups of the cabal that are still fighting for their last gasp?
Everything seems to always fail safe on old man Bush.
Okay.
It always comes back to him. They just whatever, they look around, this person did this, and that wasn't the person that told them to do it. It was this person over here. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's the kind of information I get. You know, who's behind the behind? Yeah.
I heard a rumor once that there is 18 levels of power above the presidency. That's probably...
You know, well, that's always been there.
Okay.
I mean, the president used to come in there, and his cabinet will be already picked for him. Mm-hmm. Things are a little different now.
Okay.
That's how it used to be.
All right. So what can you share with me? We only got about 8 minutes left. What can you share with me? I mean, obviously, I'm pretty well studied, at least. I mean, I don't have any inside sources. You would be considered my inside source based on what I read online. But somebody like me, who's kind of at the forefront of a lot of this information, as far as what's publicized, which is probably 80% garbage, 20% valid. To give me some hope in all this, and maybe maybe a little golden nugget that you haven't shared in your post.
It always had to be done. It always had to be done. That's with a big capital H. It had to be done because the world has been operating on a fiat system.
Yeah.
Ever since 1913.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that means it has no substance.
It's not worth the paper it's printed on, right?
Yes. And it always had to come back down to real worth. And that means gold and precious metal. Basically, it's a precious metal system coming into being. Well, it's already locked in. That's the big kernel. It locked in when the Act of 1871 went on its face. It was done a couple of Mondays ago. Mm-hmm. End of story. That's the corporation.
Got it. Okay.
This is legalities here. Legalities. You can go to court somewhere, sometime, at some particular time, you'll be able to see these records of what these clowns have done and what this country has been under since back in the good old days when they were forming this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's why Jefferson was raising a racket all those years ago about not letting foreign bankers take over, the U.S. Money system. Mm-hmm. What's his name? M. Rothschild says, I don't care what a country's politics are,
as long as
I control the money.
Yep.
And that's how he's operated.
Yep.
I mean, the Rothschilds were the main. They were the ones that put the Fed in.
Yeah. I've read a lot on their history and how they've been doing it for what.
When Jacob Rothschild signed off a couple of years ago, well, when they ticked off, they called him a traitor and all kinds of stuff.
What did he do?
You can't call me a traitor.
This is
my business.
What did he do? He signed off on all this stuff that's going down right now?
On the Fed. He turned loose of it.
Oh shit! I didn't know that. Is that common knowledge, or is that an inside info?
That's not a big secret.
Okay.
But they called him a traitor. See, at that particular time, at that same weekend when he signed off, Obama met what's his name? The Queen's grandson. What's his name? Harry.
Yeah.
Harry was in New York, and Obama went up there to do dinner and a play with his wife, and everybody's over there accusing him of wasting taxpayers' money and all that kind of crap. He was actually working. He signed the documents with her, which got rid of British control of our shit. And that's the same weekend that Jacob Rothschild signed off by to the Fed. They lost their minds.
Wow. Okay. So how is the Fed even still operating right now then? I mean, obviously
the Chinese are using it.
They're using it. It's part of the game, if you will.
Yes, part of the game.
Okay. Got it.
What's his name? Bernanke already signed his papers. I'm out of here. Whatever you guys do, fine. Can I have a job? Yes, he has a job. As long as he does it with his job, he's just keeping his feet warm up there. His next job will be one of the governors of the IMF.
Okay.
That's his next position.
Okay, so who's monitoring all these fuckers that abuse their power for so many years to make sure they don't try to do it again?
The dragons.
The dragons. Okay, so
they can see everything, man. I'm telling you, the computers show them everything they need to know, and they have feet on the ground in other places.
So Bernanke, so they can I'm just trying to figure out how the heck they think that they can trust Bernanke as holding any position of authority based on the involvement that he's had over the course of his term.
Bernanke, because he's done what they've told him to do, he gets a job.
Got it.
They're gifters.
It's like making a deal.
Yeah, that's the deal.
Making a deal.
You do what we tell you to do, you have a job.
Got it. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. All right.
This is politics as it really is.
Yeah, holy
and they
shit.
hate politics. Let me tell you, they hate politics. They don't like discussing this crap.
Yeah. How many people? I mean, who are the Dragon family made up of? I mean, is it a very large group? Is it a small? Does anybody really know?
No, it's really hard to say exactly how many members there are. But they've been around. They've been around for a couple of thousand years now.
Yeah.
Doing stuff.
Okay.
And back during the 30s, when Japanese were attacking China, they had the Fed come over there and pick up their stuff, keep it over here for safekeeping.
Got it. So
they asked for it back. They didn't give it back.
So Keenan is not the legitimate trustee of.
He is not the trustee.
So is this?
I asked Dragon about him some time ago.
Okay.
And he says he's working for the Black Dragon. When he started describing the guy, I knew exactly what he was saying, and I knew about what happened to him, and so that's why I say he's talking to somebody that has lint in his pocket.
I got it. Okay, wow, so many people are caught up in his shenanigans right now.
I know.
Got it. Okay, so all right. On a closing note, Mr. Poof, what?
Mr. Poof.
Paint a picture of what life is going to be like for the average American and over the course of the next 12 months. What do we have to look forward to here?
There'll be many changes, and people will have to catch up every day because things will be changing and shifting. And basically, they will experience freedom like they've never known it. They will understand now how that they've been enslaved. They've been enslaved since 1871. You were property of a corporation. And they will find that out, and they will be told, and they'll have to sit down and think about that.
Okay.
They're going to tell you how you process that in your brain is another story.
Yeah. And how we process out all this mind control crap that we've been fed for all these years.
Yeah, it all gets cleared up.
Okay.
People don't know, and they don't know how to know.
Okay. Yeah. That's going to be an interesting process for a lot of folks out there.
That's where they smell something stinking in Denmark, but they can't put their finger on it.
They just know it stinks.
Yes, they just know it stinks.
Last question, and I'll let you go, man. Ascension. Any thoughts? Do you believe in the December 21st, 2012 scenario?
I don't know if it's going to be in December, whenever. I just know that you're in the position right now the Earth is in the ascension process right now. She's raising frequencies. And they've got her in a tug mode right now. She's on her way to the Orion system. And she's going in right around the Beltway. The belt of Orion, that's where she's headed.
The photon belt?
We've already been to the photon belt.
Okay.
I remember the day it happened a few years ago. I was sitting there and I saw the whole sky change colors. It just darkened all of a sudden. I looked up, there weren't any clouds. I says, we've hit the photon belt. Okay, here we go. We're on our way.
Very cool, man. Well, hey, I promised American Kabuki I'd ask you if you'd be willing to do. I mean, this is pretty much an interview. I mean, have you done any interviews that you've allowed people to publish yet? I mean, I'm not going to publish any of this.
I haven't done any. There's people that wanted me to be on the radio and do a question and answer, and I've refused.
Okay.
I said, not my time yet.
Okay. How about American Kabuki via? Because I promised him I'd get back to him via email, like an email deal. Will you do that?
No problem.
Okay. And Stephen Cook, he does an in-light radio. It's like a blog talk radio deal. I'm assuming you want to stay off the airwaves for the time being, correct?
Governor's going to be insane in a minute.
In what regard?
Yeah, because everything is going to shift right in front of them.
All right.
They're going to have a little hard time explaining it. If it makes any sense.
Well, they got their work cut out for them as well as you, that's for sure. Well,
yes, they do.
Well, I really.
You know what I'm doing? I got things to do, and they're already on my pad to do. So I'm going to get busy as soon as they let me out of here.
What's a guy like me do that wants to get involved and wants to help out with all this stuff? I mean, I feel like
you're gonna hear all kinds of different ways. There's gonna be different ways introduced to people that they can get involved in global change.
Wow.
Because that's what it is global change. But you're gonna be offered on a common level street way. Somebody will walk up to you, something will appear that will question it, or will click that little thing inside of you.
What little thing?
This would be cool. What is this all about? And you will inquire and find out that yes, you do was involved. And it's just a way for people to. So much is about everybody having their own final victory.
Yeah.
That's really what it's all about. The whole earth has to be like that. That's the job at hand. And free energy is on that thing. And I'm involved in free energy. I get free energy out to these people.
Yeah.
And let them roll with it.
And
my friend is involved in water, so big water reclamation here.
Is MT Kesha a legitimate free energy humanitarian guy, or can this guy be trusted?
I haven't seen his stuff yet.
Okay.
I know what I'm looking for.
Sure.
Very clear. It's a box. That's all it is. It's a box.
And how fast?
You flip that thing on.
It's golden.
You've got an umbrella of energy over all your house.
Okay.
And your property, depending on the unit you buy.
And what's the timeline on getting one of those things on every house on the planet?
As quickly as possible.
All right, man. I really appreciate it, Poof. Thank you for all that you do. I look forward to your posts every week. I might pay you another $50 on the second round of questions now that I have an idea of your style and the kind of stuff I can ask. So I'll be in touch for sure. And best of luck, and may the force be with you.
Oh, it is. I ain't concerned about that.
Hey man, if there's anything you can do to speed up these guys, maybe a little push in the right direction.
Well, I said all I could say in that last newsletter.
Yeah.
They read them. They know exactly what I'm telling them.
Yeah.
Knock that shit off. It's not going to be perfect. Just do it.
Yep. Hallelujah, man. Hallelujah. God bless you, man. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.